We are checking out the all-new NASCAR Heat 5 2003 mod. Hello everybody and welcome to a new NASCAR Heat 5 video here on the channel. Well, check this out. We have got the 2003 mod in the game. This is super exciting. You can already download this if you go through the link down below in my description. It is very simple. You quite simply literally copy and paste the files into your NASCAR Heat 5 folder on Steam, and it should work well without really any issues. I was able to just throw it in and have no problems. As you can see, all the paint schemes in the game. Now, this is all credit to a few people. First of all, Artel Contar, who's been a part of the modding community in the NASCAR Heat world and in a big role in my community as well. He was able to kind of reach out to some people and make this happen on his own end as well. And a big shout out to Splash and Go as well as Big Evil Designs, as they were the ones that actually made the car models and paint schemes, and they gave Artel Contar permission to make this mod for NASCAR Heat 5. So the original work is from NASCAR Racing 2003. Check this out. You even got a Dale Earnhardt paint scheme in here for fun as well. Beautiful paint schemes right there. That was actually made by Maxim on Stonode. That website, of course, is very notorious for NR 2003. So we are checking out this mod here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, a beautiful racetrack and one of the best tracks at this day and age, I felt like, and I thought that was a perfect venue to kind of take in the sights and scenes of 2003 NASCAR here in NASCAR Heat 5. Now, as well, I am happy to announce that this is the also career mode that I've been hiding from you guys for a while. Myself and Tel Contar had kind of gone back and forth on some career mode ideas, and then he came out of nowhere with this one, and he was telling me about this mod he was working on, and here it is officially in action. And I can tell you guys that I have got this career mode plan that starts in 2003. But it not only stops there, it goes through the years of NASCAR and the changes of the sport from the cars. We'll transition all the way to 2007, 2008, where you see the switch over to the car of tomorrow, and then we'll eventually move on into the Generation 6 era, and then continue there, and probably wrap up by the time we kind of got towards the next gen era. But timelines will be different. You'll see drivers as well that change rides that obviously didn't happen in real life. So there's going to be a fantasy swing to the career mode. It's going to be really cool. There's a lot more that's going to go into it, but I am not going to tell you guys quite yet, because today we're just focusing on the beauty of this mod in general. And this was, like I said, originally a mod for NR 2003 by Splash and Go, as well as Big Evil Designs that did the models and the paint schemes in that mod originally, and we've got them now in NASCAR Heat 5 here now as we're continuing to work our way forward, now passing the 21 of Ricky Rudd. We're doing 65 laps here in this race, and Ryan Newman is out in front now as we're up to the back of our teammate Terry Labonte, and the number 5 right there. Of course, the Labonte brothers still well and active in competitive cup rides here in 2003. Now, as we look to the inside of the 5, we would pass him, and we're continuing to go forward, passing the iconic Viagra number 6 of Mark Martin, passing Greg Biffle in the 16. You got good old Sterling Marlin right there in front of us, as well as we've already passed pretty well half of this field after starting from the back now, as we've got Marlin, and how about there's Jerry Nadeau there in that 01 GoArmy.com Pontiac just in front of us as well. Now as we roll through 1 and 2, we'll pass him, move ourselves up into the top 20. This is an era of NASCAR that I did not get to experience. I was in 2003, I would have been turning 3 years old. I barely knew what a vehicle was at the time, so obviously I wasn't really into NASCAR. My dad, of course, he was a fan of NASCAR at this time, but I never got to experience this era. So coming back to this, this is a kind of that era that everybody talks about and how awesome it was, kind of the mid to late 1990s into the early 2000s, and I just love the race cars, honestly, here. I think the race cars itself, the Gen 4s, they always look really cool to me, and that's kind of the standout for me in this era of NASCAR, just kind of how cool the cars look. But I mean, don't get me wrong, next gen, I think, in my personal opinion, maybe the coolest looking NASCAR race cars we've had yet. Not necessarily my favorite looking ones, but I still think they're really cool. But it's always always cool to come back to these eras, as I always want to pay respect to the previous generations of NASCAR that I did not get to experience, as we get our first caution of the day. And who is it going to be for? It's is that the number 4 Kodak Pontiac, maybe? I'm not sure who drives that car. If I had to take a guess, I would say Mike Skinner, but that's probably completely inaccurate. Nonetheless, we get our first restart of the day, and we took 4 tires, we took fuel as well, and there's Jamie McMurray in the number 42 there for Chip Ganassi Racing. McMurray, one of the few drivers that jumped into a NASCAR Cup Series car and was able to win in just his first few starts. He did something very similar that Kevin Harvick was, of course, able to do. Jimmy Johnson, for example, another one. He took a little bit longer than those 2 guys, but he still did it in, less than 20 starts or so, as we are continuing to work on this inside lane here, passing in this era, the road course ace right there, the 31 of Robbie Gordon, but Jeff Gordon as well, who we're driving as, was the road course king in the NASCAR Cup Series now, as it's hard to believe that Jeff Gordon went so many years late in his career without winning at a road course now, as we are closing in on the top 10. You see that good wrench 29 of Kevin Harvick. In my opinion, that 29 good wrench paint scheme there by Kevin Harvick is one of the most iconic paint schemes from this era of NASCAR. When I think back to this era that I missed, one of the cars that stands out is that one right there, outside of the Jeff Gordon iconic flames as well. But we continue on up into P11. I got Michael Waltrip just behind us here on that number 15. Dale Earnhardt Jr. currently out in front in that Budweiser number 8 now, as we were working on passing Harvick, and here comes my teammate of Terry Labonte as well into the conversation. That number 5, Kellogg's Chevrolet, has got some solid speed here as we're rolling up behind the Penske number 2 of Rusty Wallace now, as we exit turn 2 to his left rear down this back straightaway, and we have gotten ourselves well into the top 10 at this point now as we pass them both. But it's pretty clear to me that number 5 of Labonte's got some pretty competitive speed here now, as I'm going to move out of the way. He's my teammate, and he's clearly faster than me, so I'm not going to make life too difficult on my teammate of Labonte as he sails it off into turn 1. Got milk? I would say I got milk, because I'm still milking NASCAR Heat 5 all these years later, but we're still having an absolute blast now as we look up the inside of the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield, now passing him into turn number 3 as we continue to just work our way through this traffic. Like I said, this mod is very simple to install. You simply just copy the files and paste them. You drop them into the NASCAR Heat 5 root directory, and it'll ask you to replace a bunch of stuff, of course. And yeah, you of course replace them and it goes in. Now I will put out a tutorial as we actually get a caution again, just as drivers are coming into the pit lane, so we'll pit again for 4 tires and fuel. But I will put out a tutorial video if you guys want here in a couple of days on how to install it. It's going to be like a 1-minute video. Maybe I'll make it as a short, but it's actually the 4 car again that brings up the caution, loses a tire, and we would all pit for the tires and fuel and get back underway from P10. Jimmy Johnson in that Lowe's Chevrolet here is second season of full-time Cup Series competition underway here in front of us now. Matt Kenseth in the 17, 2003, correct me if I'm wrong, that's 2003, I'm pretty sure Kenseth is the one that won the championship in 03, his one and only Cup Series championship now. As we head down this back straightaway, we've got the number 19 of Mayfield up the inside. Of course, also, this is the last year of the Winston Cup Series sponsorship, and NASCAR, of course, going into 2004, would eventually go into the Nextel Cup era, and as well, they would bring in the 10-race chase format that I personally am a big fan of. I always love the chase, and in the career mode, that will be represented. Now, the one thing that's mainly different here is we have double file restarts. That wasn't something that NASCAR had at this time in days, so that's a little bit different, and that's obviously something we can't really change. Now, there's things we just can't change with the mod because of the limitations of the game, such as, say, the horsepower, for example. You can't really do that. The field size, you can't really change, because stuff like that, they are hard-coded in the game, so we couldn't do like single file restarts either, because yeah, they're just simply hard-coded into NASCAR Heat 5. So there's a little bit of differences between 2003 and then, of course, jumping in this mod into NASCAR Heat 5. Now what you can do is you can remove stages, because it's an option in the game to completely turn stages off. So of course I am racing without actual stages. Now I'm racing on normal incident mechanical issue frequency for the AI. Personally, I think when I jump into the career mode, I'm going to turn it down and simply allow for more just green flag racing, and have a lot less of a breakup in the racing, and I think that's going to really make things fun. Nonetheless, you can see the 18 of Bobby Labonte out in front right now as we are continuing to run down our teammate here of Jimmy Johnson as well, working on it once again. Now the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield here, and we'll pass this Lowe's Chevrolet into turn number 3 as we're just behind the 17 of Matt Kenseth now as we continue side by side as we exit turn number 4. Hendrick Motorsports looking pretty strong here early on, or well, I'd say in the last half of this race now, as we should be able to pass this 48. Hold on, he's still at my right rear through 1 and 2. There we go. Job done. Next up, Matt Kenseth. We would very quickly get to the inside of him. Now that I'm passing him, I look at that car and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I just realized that the die-cast I have of him is that one right there, the 2003 die-cast. Now, as we would continue now to Jeff Burton in the Roush Fenway, number 99, up the inside of him. I always thought the Jeff Burton 99 era was really cool. I just liked the race cars that they had for him back in the day here. Now as we come through to the now just over 20 laps to go, and it's still Labonte out in front here. Now Tony Stewart I can see up there in the distance as well. Can we run down the Home Depot number 20? Pit stops are kicking off once again. Are we finally going to get some green flag pit stops? It looks like it. Now here comes some drivers up ahead. There goes, I believe that was Dale Jr., and somebody else comes in, and now we're up to P4. A lap later we're going to come back around. We're going to see some more takers come into the pit lane. Don't be surprised if Tony Stewart, sure enough, there he goes. Labonte pits from the lead, hands it over to Ryan Newman. We can stretch it just a little bit further. Ryan Newman pits 1 lap later. We take the lead. We're going to finally lead a lap here in the NASCAR Heat 5 2003 mod, and I'm going to pit at the conclusion of this lap right here. So we're going to come in and we're going to get 4 tires in field as we come towards lap 48. The tire light warning now comes on, and now we get down into the pits now, and as soon as I hit the commitment line, caution is out, and it's for, I have no idea who that was, the 23 of Johnny Benson. Caution comes out, so I can do my pit stop because I had just made it to the pit lane, meaning we are going to trap 9th place on back, 1 lap down, or I should say 10th place, because Bobby Labonte gets the free pass over his brother of Terry. Bobby was dominating the last half of this race, and now he needs a caution to get himself anywhere back into the conversation, because he starts all the way from the back of the field, and suddenly we are promoted to the lead of this race, and that is, the benefit of us staying out just a little bit longer and getting that caution. The only reason I stayed out a bit longer wasn't for something like that to happen. It was simply because we were able to get in a comfortable spot on fuel. I was running on 3X fuel and tire wear, and you can go about 18-19 laps on fuel, and I was trying to pit with coming about to 18 to go, and I was surprised to see drivers pitting earlier because there was no way they were going to make it on fuel. But now everybody is good, and we've got less than 15 laps to go here from Atlanta as we send it off into turn 1, and now we're racing for victory here. We have got the number 40 of Sterling Marlin and the 12 of Ryan Newman, Rocket Newman, at this era, of course, now just behind us. He was always scoring pole positions as we continue to just try and hold these two back. Fortunately for me, they're fighting side by side, makes life a little bit easier for me, but now as we come through at a turn 4, lap 53, approaching 54, here comes Sterling Marlin up the inside into towards turn number 1, and just not enough speed in my DuPont Chevrolet here for Hendrick Motorsports now, and Marlin's going to get us on the exit of the corner. Now it's all about trying to hold off Ryan Newman and bring a fight back to Marlin here as we are approaching just 10 laps to go. Dave Blaney goes around on the exit of turn 4. Oh my goodness. Huge crash down the front straightaway. Caution is out, and the pit strategy is going to be split, but I myself, along with Marlon Newman and Bobby Labonte, us four stay on the racetrack, and we get ready to go back racing. What a wild crash that was. Now, when we've got less than 10 laps to go, we could have pitted for sure right there, but I felt like this was going to be the right call because there's not going to be a lot of laps left. and I feel like that 4 fresh tire advantage isn't quite going to be able to get through these first 4 cars. Now, I could be wrong. We might have made a bad call. Here comes Kurt Busch in the 97 right off the bat, trying to prove us wrong as we go down this back straightaway in towards turn 3. So that 97 for Roush Fenway Racing looking to my left rear now as we roll through the center of the corner. Kurt Busch is the only one moving forward right now on the 4 tires now, as it's outside of him. It's just myself, Labonte, Newman, and Marlin as well now as we hit 59 of 65 here, closing in on the final laps of this race, and Kurt Busch has entered the conversation to maybe steal the win here now as we exit turn 2. Hold on, actually getting a bit of a run on this Sharpie 97 into turn 3, and Kurt Busch goes for the middle. I wasn't ready for that, made a bit of contact. Newman driving away here now as we lose a spot to Labonte. They are absolutely scrapping behind us here now as we were back up the inside of Labonte here through 1 and out of turn 2 down this back straightaway, and we continue scrapping as we approach just 5 laps to go here from this Atlanta Motor Speedway. What an absolute blast this race has been now, and we've got just a few laps to go as we clear the 18. Now we look to pass Marlin. Kurt Busch has gone up to second. Does he have anything to go run down Ryan Newman with 5 laps to go? That's the big question, but I mean, I'm right on the back of this 97. I don't think he's quite got the speed he needs absolutely now, because here I come up the inside, and we're going to be able to make a pass on this 97 here, probably clear him even before we hit turn 3 here, as yeah, we do in fact clear that 97. Unfortunately though, that ended up being all I had, and we come to the final lap of this race, and unfortunately I didn't gain anything on Ryan Newman. I drove away from the cars behind us, but that was all I could do, was P2, and Newman kept the gap exactly about a second for these final 4 laps where I was full throttle both ends of the racetrack. I was able to hook this car up very well, but unfortunately it just simply wasn't enough here now in this debut of this 2003 NASCAR Heat 5 mod. Unfortunately, it's not going to be victory lane as Ryan Newman is going to exit turn 4 down the front straightaway, cross the line, winner in Atlanta, as we end up in the 2nd position. Once again, the mod link is going to be in the description down below. It's a simple copy paste drop. I'll put out a very quick tutorial if you guys would like here in a couple of days, on Monday specifically. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed the mod, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a blast making the career mode out of this that goes through the different eras of NASCAR. I can't wait to show you guys that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.